I want to explain my title and why it says what it says. And this is legitimately, we're in that money zone now to where we're going to know whether or not alt season is going to happen in this time frame or if it's going to get delayed a little bit longer. But because of what goes on tomorrow and to end the week, this would be the most likely candle to have a market wide 15% surge. If it doesn't happen on this candle and it just falls apart, and let's say Ethereum falls below 3,554, this is where you'd say it's over. For the micro, it's over. This would be the candle right now where it can maintain. It can start to build a little bit of momentum. And I'm not saying to push bullish. I'm talking about to finish this pattern target off. If Ethereum is set bullish here for this, at least this candle close, and for what it built in the micro, because we have to acknowledge micro, and I like to acknowledge micro. But if it falls apart, let me just tell you folks, this could have implications beyond implications if this don't play out now. So, if Ethereum can hold 3,554, and it might come back down and tap it again, 358, we don't know. But it would have a target of just over 3,900. And is that 4,100? No. But it at least would fill off this short area, and then we can figure out if it's a 3 top dooms of hell or what the hell is going on here. Or if this doesn't pan out on this candle, and the reason why I said alts for the 15, I did put Ethereum in with it, but Ethereum's not going to hit 15, I don't think, right here. But that would be at the 4,100 if you look at this, that target that I had up there. That's the 15 for there, but the immediate move would be here. If this falls apart, I'm just warning everybody. If you're in positions, if this falls apart on this candle, I can't even describe to you how devastating that would be and opportunistic this would be from a standpoint of if you have dry capital and things like that. But this is the candle. It would do something. So yesterday when it was below, I said the only thing Ethereum has to do here to stay bullish is just make sure it bounces up in the next 2.5 hours, gets above 3,558, and we'll call it a day and we're fine. And it did. It pulled up relatively nicely, and now we closed and we're at like 3,680 on the close today. Right now it's down 0.4%, but this is what happens after the close, and it starts to rattle back and forth. So every single day you don't know what I'm going to say because I don't know what the pattern's going to show. I just know today it's more urgent than ever now. If this pattern is going to play out and have this rally, it's got to happen on this candle. Because tomorrow can change the mindset of some. But what happens on this candle could lead us into the news. So it's going to tell us a lot. It's very telling how it came down a couple of times and it held for Ethereum. So this tells me that when I've started to see the narrative, and a lot of people flip to where they won't buy in now. Like, no matter what. It's just I'm not buying in, but they're waiting for confirmation or whatever. But I personally believe I got to reset this for some reason. Not the stream, but my touch screen. For some reason, YouTube wouldn't let me. It started with the comments, but then it decided I wasn't allowed to see the comments anymore. IOTA takes a second to refresh on this particular chart, which is the reason why I used to not have it on here, but I really like that chart because of how it goes back. I'm going to tell you the truth, and like, I am position based right now. I have positions today, unlike yesterday, because I want to see with the bounce that it had, if that flag plays out, even for the micro movement, but my destination where I bail completely, again, it's such a small window. So, like, you have to have, literally an eye of a hawk. 3,550. If that area is lost, I'm not hesitating. It's gone. It's over. You know, so, and things have been moving around. Some things are up. Some things are down. That's not what I'm worried about. Because if I have to sell it out and this whole market collapses again, it's just going to buy a better opportunity. You'll be able to buy more than you could have. I'm not going to say every single token I bought, but I'm going to, you guys already know based on the way I talk. If you're a part of this community. If not, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. And what I try to do here is give you my best observation of the market. I've been doing this since March 24th of 2021, and I have never missed a single day here. If you've been a part of this community, some can validate and verify in the comments. In 21, I helped this community when I first started, with nobody basically watching, to buy XRP around 47 cents on average. We sold it in that subsequent mini bull market that was like 8 days, legitimately. But we sold it on the right arm at $1.66, and I told my audience, do not buy it until it goes back to sub 40 cents. I basically got knocked out of the gym, but it is what it is. The bottom line is we bought it on average at 34 cents. We got a second chance at 38, so we bought more. And then some of us decided on that second bag, we sold it when it went +3, and then we used it on other things, and or are using it on other things going forward. So we've had a long history of XRP. We did the same thing with the alt tokens. I told everybody back in January I sold 75% and flipped the mining stocks because they were at lows and these were at highs, and then it paid off huge. Actually, speaking of mining stocks, Hecla Mining nailed fucking earnings. I know you guys remember yesterday when I bought some. It's too bad it won't show you what it did in after hours, but it was crushing it in after hours. It was up like 6.7% in after hours. But it went up 40.77%. It beat earnings. It was supposed to be 0.057, got 0.08. And then on revenue, it was up 44.24 million, or 17% over. They estimated 259.79 million, and they ended up with 304.03 million. This is going to be this is the quarter where I thought it would get interesting, and spicy meatballs for the mining stocks. Oh man, they are starting to build up. So this is up 7% in after hours. I'm just out of curiosity. I just want to see where it's at right now. This is XRPFutureMillionaire.com. You can go here. It's the website I created. It's live 24/7 charts. Starts with XRP market cap, but you can go to any chart you want for free. You'll actually get more utilage on your phone by using it on my website than you will on your phone. So Hecla Mining. It's the hard thing with mining stocks. It's hard to see it after hours, so Hecla. We'll just look at on Google. Yeah, up 7. It ended up 45 cents, or up 7.36% in after hours. So that was a healthy move in after hours right there. So I was happy to see that. I think this is going to be a trend here. I really think it's going to end up being a trend. Somebody put a mining stock in here, and I'm so mad that I forgot what it was. If you're in the audience tonight, please let me know what mining stock you talked about yesterday. You talked about it with the healthy dividend. I was starting to look it up, and then I broke my phone last night like an asshole. Fortunately, I got a new one, and I got it today, and I got everything switched over. And because of what I use, it's so seamless, but it's still a pain in the fucking ass when you're using crypto and everything to get everything set up. So that took me a few hours, but it's all good. It's all good. It was my fault why it broke. I'm an idiot. Just say I dropped it in the sink. Water got everywhere, and when I went to open it up, whoosh, broke it in like 4 spots. So it was not good. So when I did my update this morning, or the 2 of them on my shorts, my phone was like cracked as shit. So the fact I even got to do it. I've thought about core mining, but that's not the one I was thinking of. I know about core mining. I've looked into it a lot. It's at like $9 and some, like $9.80 something right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Rio Tinto. Who is this? That was me. That's it. QE312. Thank you so much for being the number 3 top fan. Rio Tinto. Because I've got $3,400 that I looked at that's still liquid in my portfolio in mining stocks. Roughly. It's at least $3,000. Because I put in so much monthly based on my revenue. I've had some good revenue the last few months in crypto, and then just in what I do on YouTube, and then just what I do on the sides too that you don't see on YouTube. Believe it or not, I still have income coming in outside of YouTube because I actually do stuff outside of YouTube and what you see on social media. I try to stay busy. But I try to put it into so much a month. Let's just say I'm a let's see, Rio Tinto. And if this goes the way I expect it to, mining stock is going to have this big, big rotation right now. Nobody's talking about them. You guys have seen how some of these have gone up. Is this the right one? Wait a minute, what are they? I don't know, that seems kind of high. I haven't looked into it, but did I pick the right one? Everything can be destroyed. Let's see. It was mentioned to me from a friend in the UK. I'm just making sure this is the right one because I would like to look into it. I'm just going to keep it on here. Sorry, guys. I just had to put it on there so I don't forget. Otherwise, I'm going to forget and I'm going to be mad again. Not mad, but I don't like to miss when people say something about mining stocks. Right now, the mining stocks are looking really good. We had a nice close today. Fortuna is back over $7. First Majestic is comfortably over $8 again. Pan American Silver is heading towards its 52-week high. B2 Gold, if it gets over $382, it's going to go over $4 for the first time in a very long time. Barrick Gold is just revving up for a massive move. You can see it on the 1-year chart at the end of this right now. So I've just been pouring and pouring and pouring. My mining stocks portfolio for the first time ever went over 60,000 today. So I was like, holy hell. If this thing actually moves the way I thought, oh my lord. So it's more than just crypto. But I do understand opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, did I start out by saying if it was going to happen, it has to happen today? It looks awful the way. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I ruined my narrative, damn it, while I was talking. See, I talked too much. I was going to say, I know it looks terrible. Then I looked up and everything is green. Well, what the hell? It was like 0.75%, 1% down when I was talking about the mining stocks. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on this candle. So I'm going to talk opportunity when I think there's opportunity. And just know, like, the ones that I appreciate, like, the one that I didn't buy in, and some might be surprised, even defined. I'm not in defined after I thought about it. I was going to, but XDC is the one that I decided to wait on because it always seems to do it second. So if I'm looking at this, doesn't XDC seem to run after the rest of them? And I was going to send you a message, but I'm like, he's going to be in the live, so he'll see this. And I can show him it. I decided that, you know, I think that this is going to, this will probably have a correction first because the other ones had the correction as that held steady, if I recall. But I do think this is the candle, although I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. But that's just what I'm thinking here. Basically, all you have to do to say, does he own that? It's yes. Besides Quant and ZBCM. It's just a basically yes. No, not Bitcoin or Ethereum, but yes. I think I have XLM too. I want to say that's a yes because I like XLM, and I remember we talked about this the other day. I believe that's a yes. XLM. Hold on. Stupid phone. I forgot to sign in on this phone. Son of a bitch. Shows you how long it's been since I did this, but this is bullshit. Sorry. You guys know how big of a pain in the ass. Here, let me just do the intro. Good evening. 8:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and by no way am I telling you to buy anything, because in fact, it might be the stupidest move ever, because if you're not paying attention like a hawk, like I keep saying, and this gets out of control and we end up falling below the Mendoza line, which is 3,554 for Ethereum, this is going to hurt. You understand? Like, no, seriously, it would hurt. This would be a move that would sting a little bit, if I'm being honest. So you have to pay attention. So if it gets down to that point, I can't help you any more than you. Yes, there is an opportunity. I understand why so many people want to be in right now, including myself. But don't take for granted the opportunity, because if it falls below 3,554, what looked like an opportunity is going to be a death spiral. You understand? Does that make sense? I think so. I think that's about as clear as I can make it. Now I need to take my minerals, damn it. I felt a little depleted, so I'm going to take them twice today. It's 1 to 2 times a day, but usually I only take them once unless I feel like I need to drink some good water at night with not a lot else. So I'm going to have this and that. Maybe a yogurt tonight, but that's the rest I'm eating tonight. That's it. Ah, man. And then some would say, well, why? What makes you think that this could be the candle? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know the bigger pattern that we broke out of, finally. And whether it's early or not, it's anybody's guess. I hope not. I hope it's not early, and even if it's a fake out, I hope it is not early. I told you we can make money once we get the validation, and right now we got early validation, so it's okay to ride. But if it breaks that point back down here, you got to get away. Inverse, you've got the early validation by 3,554. We waited how we're supposed to up to here when it created this inverse pattern, allowed it to come back down, and then in the 2 hour, you'll see how it creates this little bit of a dip here. We didn't just come in. We waited for it to come down and validate and break past the neckline. And now if it's going to do it, this would be the appropriate time on validation. This would be the spot to have a snipe hit, because then you don't just have to sell in $2. You have a spot here even to make sure it's valid. It's about a 3.5% window here on Ethereum. But if it comes down below it, you know, then it invalidates this, and you took a shot, but you got to admit that, get the hell out of the way, because it's not worth it. So that's where we're at right now. And the good thing here is most of retail is so confused. They're like, I'm not buying right now. Fuck that. It's either going to go through. I've made up my mind now. I'm not doing it. And that's the consensus I keep hearing, which actually makes me feel a little bit better, because if that's the consensus, maybe the market makers are going to go the other way. But I don't know what I'd rather have right now. I almost feel like I'd rather eat a few $100s here and then have to sell and be able to buy for like a 20. Because if this comes through now, you're talking 25, 30% across the board. That's why I feel like if we're going to get that 30% across the board, because of what's going on, I don't think they're going to bring XRP necessarily below 250 and some of these other ones below certain levels. So I think it only makes sense to have the retest of the higher point here. Like, so all the calculations I play, even if we're going to get that big drop from August into September, I still think early August, you know, now that we had that drop already, this validation could be setting us up. And from a psychological standpoint, everybody's probably running scared. But, like, I always like to keep my eyes open. And this is, to me, this would be, from a statistical standpoint and from an analytical standpoint, this would be the best guess of anybody watching that we could have some kind of volatility to the upside. And then we know if we get validation to the downside, it's going to be a bloody mess. But at least we're on top of it either way. This is where it pays the gamble, just a little bit based on the charts. And then understanding where that make it or break it zone is, so that you don't have to sit through the bloodbath if you're in right now. So, but there is opportunity here. Volatility is our friend. It's just very hard to walk through the trenches, let's just say. But this is how you have to do it in the micro. Unless you're looking to build every level, this is how you have to do it in the micro, because we're in the middle of something. And right now, Ethereum's giving the signal. I know there's a lot of charts for a lot of different people, but this is my own personal signal right here, based on the charts that I think the setup that Ethereum's in. And I personally believe this is what it's in 3,554 or 3,558 when it was a little higher. But we've had this for a little while. And then when it broke through, we said it has to backtest this area. And now we have done that. We've legitimately done that. And we had it on a couple daily candles. So it's not just a 4 hour, 3 hour, a 2 hour candle. We had one candle below, a second, third candle, one close over. Perfect candle here when we actually closed over again. Hold candle, and now this should be the breakout candle. That's all I'm saying. Like, if we're going to break out, this would be the breakout candle. Based on just the analytical approach, this would be the breakout candle. We had a double tap here. We have a nice inverse pattern here. We came back down here and back tested it after, which candle was it? You have to look in the 4 hour because it went up and then it immediately pulled back. When it came here, what candle is that? I don't remember what date this is. So August 25th. Okay, so the August 4th candle went up here and the August 5th candle came down. So let's go to the August 4th. Right here. So August 4th. Here, let me get my arrow. So the August 4th candle for Ethereum went here. And we're focusing on Ethereum because this is what's going to tell us if alt season is going to push at all. Even if we have a fake out here, let's make some goddamn money. So we have the fake out here. I mean, the fake out. The reversal candle here. But this is the candle that first was over on the 4th. This was the 5th as well. So we know what happened here. On the 4th, we had the tap here. Oh, that was the important part that I wanted to get to. We had the tap on the daily time frame where it tapped the resistance on the breakout. So on the breakout target, it actually tapped here. That orange line, it tapped here. On the daily candles, it came down. It's easier to see when you get into the smaller time frames. And now we would be looking for some kind of volume spike to see if this is made for something or if it's going to break down after like 8.5%. But let me tell you, if this goes up 8.5%, it's going to look good for alt tokens. Real talk. At least for a minute. But that, I hope this plays out. I really do hope this plays out. I know we could probably buy more tokens overall, but I think it would hurt more people than help. So I think the abundance pull here is just let's break out here and have some fun here. But yeah, that's where we're at with Ethereum in my opinion. And if you're watching, please hit that subscribe button. I would love if you would join our Tom's Army. Join us so you can be more involved in the community within the Telegram. I would love to see you guys in here. We have a couple new members, but yes, I had to put some protocols in place because once we got to about 375 people, a lot of people tried to spam my personal XRP Future Millionaire name, and they were trying to get people to send them crypto, and some people I think were falling for it. So I had to put a protocol in place. So I tell people, if you want to join and cancel after 1 month, so be it. But I would prefer you show support after you see what goes on in there, and not just what I do in the community. But all my stuff's free, so pay it forward is all I ask at some point. Maybe never. But there's a few exceptions to the rule. I'll never say the people, but there's a few people in there that can't afford it, but they go in there, even though they're not in the army, so to say, even though they are. But you know, there's exceptions to every rules because some people do a lot of stuff and they deserve to be here and learn. So even deeper. So there's always an exception to the rule. But if you do that and you ever do join Tom's Army and you want to join and you want to learn more deeper, and we're going to be starting copy trading again. I have a great idea. I'm going to run it by Define and maybe in the near future, but it's not going to be what you remember. And in the last one, we were up about $3,000 when we did it. So I'm hoping to bring similar success, if not greater, but I want to do it in a way. I'm going to run it by Define, but if you do join Tom's Army, right here, hit the Telegram, and then it'll bring you right there, and then you can be a part of the exclusivity, and there's 450 members, I mean. We went over 450 now. That's incredible. So a lot of people to talk to with a lot of similar mindsets, but let's get back to the business. So we're waiting to see what Ethereum does. If it breaks down, this would put a damper, like I said, on alt season. Don't fear it. You know where you need to sell out if you're in a position, if you don't want to hold it through a drop. If you're watching 3,550 for, but we'll call it 50 for grace, is where you got to get out of the way. I don't care how much you want to hang on to it. I don't care how much your gut is telling you to stay. If it goes below that number, you have got to get out of the way. Unless you're looking to hold long term and you just don't care how far it goes down. Well, you know, like I said, though, I'm not a financial advisor, so I guess you could stay in the way. What do I know? I mean, if you're not looking at the micro, it's fine. If you've been in for a long time, I'm just saying, if you buy anytime in the near future and you don't want to sit through a 20 to 30% drop, from here, I can just tell you, you know. But if you've already been holding something for a long time, it could be a different story because you could already be up unbelievable amounts. But this just goes into the micro framework. And I know this is why Nick steers away from the micro, because even if you give good advice in the micro, if some are looking not in the macro as well and they're just selling their macro positions based on a micro turn of events, it causes a mess. This is why it makes it hard to talk about. But at the same time, I feel like it's still, I need to talk about it because I am doing this every single day, so to say. Well, not so to say, I am doing this every day. There's no so to say, right, Julie? Yeah. Sounds good, my love. How did his feeding go? Good? Good, good. Let's see. For anybody who's new, my son has a G-tube. So he gets most of his nutrition out of that. I mean, he eats some by mouth, but nothing more than snacking. He's got severe food aversion and stuff like that well, he got into a bad car accident when he was 6 months old, and it's been a uphill battle, but he's a very positive little man. Let's see. 17. Oh, I like this chart. I like this one. This is nice. That's a nice chart. That is a nice chart. I like the other one, but that one, after the clock flip, it always takes like an hour or so for it to go back to where it needs to be. So I gotta have 2 of them up there. It's still on? Uh-oh. Whoops. I'll be right back, everybody. That's only been 47 minutes. All right, sorry about that, everybody. But my son is out here right now. But we're gonna continue talking. We're just gonna hopefully he'll be happy. But we're gonna watch this together, and we're just gonna understand our bailout levels. Whether you're in the market or not, it's not just a bailout level, but it's to watch to know when the market, if it can turn to ugly, and know where you might have to watch a little bit closer for something more. That's all. But right now we're okay. We've got a little bit of room, about $120 on Ethereum. Bitcoin is what needs to still push over. We're below that 115.5 roughly. Because that is either a rising wedge or a rising triangle. It's very hard to tell. But we don't necessarily need Bitcoin to make this run as long as Ethereum's moving, because we can have the diversion or the, so that can happen. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen here. Tommy, hi. You want to watch? Come here. I can't leave though, buddy. I'm working. I can't stop.
Daddy has to work, Bob.
I got to tell the fine audience what to do. You guys know my son after all these years. Here, I'll say hi to everybody while he's out here all happy. But just let it sink in what I've been talking about. And then in your mind right now, while I say hello to everybody, figure out your plan. Whether you buy in later, whether you're already in and you're looking for your escape, whether you're looking because you're already in the market, you're going to buy more on a drop, or if you're going to look for profit levels if it goes up at rejections, if you're going to wait to see if it goes up even higher, just all the things that can possibly happen here. It's nice to have it kind of written down, almost like when you do a budget. It's nice to have it written down in the technicals. And then you can come to an honest conclusion to yourself, and not only a conclusion, but you can come to the reality of, okay, this is where it's bullish, this is where it's bearish, we've got the market by the balls, let's try to take an opportunity, let's not, or let's wait to rev up when we get that either that big drop or the big bounce up for validation at the highest level. But, you know, it all depends the way you want to play it. So I appreciate everybody being here. We're about one halfway through this live. My son is, my son.
See, I'm a wild man.
He's a wild man right now. Once he gets his feeding, he usually gets a lot of energy and comes up to me right away. But it's too late to go outside, so he kind of blew that. Because he waited. CJ2 Pilot and UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Crypto Cooter and Joseph Euler, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Along with George Athanasov. Why is it frozen again? YouTube. There we go. YouTube has been messing with my screen. George, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. QE, welcome in. Stephen Van, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 3rd month plus with the XRP Meteor. UK Phil and Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I believe I said CJ2 Pilot as well, but if I didn't, thank you for tuning in. And Syrian, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and also in the Telegram. Means a lot to me. Bearded Viking, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 1st month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. We pray to our Lord and Savior for guidance for your child still, as always. I always have the little one in my heart. So, you know, just it's out there. But thank you for being a very loyal and newer part of this audience, but I love seeing you in here daily. Shane, welcome in along with Justy. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 1st month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Shane just got the notice. Excellent. Jay for Mix, welcome in. Papa Wheelie and Crazy Pole, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Nick Morales and Syrian, Nick Morales, welcome in, and thanks for being a very, very incredibly important part of this community. Thanks for being in here at Trade Trusted Mod and also in the Telegram. But yeah, Ethereum's monthly. I mean, it's nothing to squawk about right now. And the micro levels are giving us small validation here. And that's a nectarine. I want to see how... Oh, that's all you wanted? I wanted to see how you'd... But yeah, I mean, the monthly, that's unbelievable. That's why if we get that validation in the micro, we've already got... And now we got that micro validation. I mean, there's not much more that I can say aside from if you're not in right now, you're tempting fate. Nick, would you agree if you're not sitting in right now, even if it goes down and breaks that 3,554 and it has to be bailed out because the market completely implodes, it's more risky to not be in at this point than be in my opinion. I know it sounds crazy because you can always get out when it's appropriate because it's such a small margin for error right now. You've already not had that 25% differential from when it was higher up in the altcoins. Like, you're not at 360 for XRP. You're not at 25 cents for IOTA. You're not at 30 cents for Algo. We're at a lot different areas right now. So, like, XLM's not at 52 cents. XDC, I still think, as long as it holds this, it's fine. We just need to see if it holds this little pattern formation. If it holds this, it's fine. But that's one that technically I haven't got my own validation yet. I thought about it. I've been tempted, but I want to see how it reacts here because it could be a reversal as some of the other parts of the market go up. Maybe this goes down, but I still think this doesn't look horrible. It's just if this breaks down, I know what can happen because of the way it's set up. So I just want to make sure I get some validation here. That's what I'm waiting for there. But the whole market, I don't feel great about. Like, just because of what's going on at the end of the day, I still don't feel great about all the stuff that could transpire. But at the same time, I see opportunity. I do see opportunity. It's just a matter of, do they let us take advantage of the opportunity or not? Let's see. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in. Cape Cod Kyle, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I really appreciate that. He says, he loves opportunity. Kyle does as well. It's a rush. It is a rush, my friend. He says, weird, the like button is not there for me to hit. Me neither. On my screen, it's not there. Julie, is the like button where it normally is on mine? Oh, it popped off. Hey.
You just had to scroll down, huh?
Well, it was frozen. wouldn't let me go down there. It wouldn't let me switch the comments either. Hey, mine popped up. See? I went from 53 to 54. Julie's good luck. Right when she looked at it, it unfroze, it looks like. I kept trying to scroll forever. Julie, look at that. You're my lucky charm.
No, it's tea. It's all tea.
Oh, it's tea?
Yep.
Fine. You're both my lucky charm. My comment part is jacked up also for some reason, not yours alone. Oh, Jesse's is like that too. Everybody's is having a problem. Buy the farm back, haha, David Hoff. I mean, it's a very risky proposition, but
Hey, what you doing?
you know, it's a very tight window here. I mean, you're talking about a 3% pull down possibility here. So I mean, it's set up something to where at least you know a bailout plan or a fail safe if it doesn't pan out. Dennis Daly, welcome in. You think SHS is going to come down? I'm waiting for a drop to buy, and it's possible, but I don't know. I try not to look at SHS because it bothers me because I can't buy it anywhere I want. So, yeah. But I don't know. It very well could, but I'm not sure. Crypto Cooter, thanks for reading the Times 36 plus months with the XP Predictor. Says, hey, Tom, can we check out Ethereum's heat liquidation map? Excellent, excellent suggestion. I do know there's a lot of liquidation higher. I just can't remember how much is lower. Tommy, thank you for staying out here with us, buddy. One day you're going to be the new talent. He may be nonverbal, but he can keep attention. Right, for Bitcoin, it's a perfect spot to come up here. Although, wait a minute, where are we at right now? We don't want to look at that small time frame. I'd rather look at the monthly. I thought there was some a little bit higher. Ooh. I mean, look at that. There's a lot of stuff up here for Bitcoin. You're talking about $1 billion at 121,000. Oh, this is what we're talking about. This is good. This is good. Look at below. There's not a lot of opportunity below in comparison. Ooh, interesting. There's a lot of long liquid or short liquidity. Ooh, look at that at 101,222. So Bitcoin's got a lot of liquidation to tap up top. Remember we talked about that target of 126 if it could break out of here and actually get out. It's just if we lose 111.7, it could get very interesting. And then, ooh, look at that. There's so much more money over the top. This is good. I think we're going to go up there, guys. Hopefully. I think we're going to go up to that 39 whatever that was on Ethereum we looked at. What was the target? I'm going to go back to the heat liquidation map. I just wanted to see what our target was out of this flag if it breaks out. I want to see why I had that. Why the hell would I put it right there? What time frame relevance was it for me to put it right there? That doesn't even make sense. Why would it be right there? Why would I put it? I don't even understand why I would put it right there. I'm honest. I'm being honest. I don't know why I put it right there, unless it moved down. I don't hate the area. I'm just trying to figure out why I put it there. I'm sorry, Tommy. I know you hate when Daddy has to work. Well, it's not technically work for me. I don't feel like it's work. Here, how about this? Because I got to give some kind of reference of where it could break out. So basically, that's what you're looking at for Ethereum. Just in the micro. That's the ultimate move, but there's going to be a micro move out of this as well. So that's the more macro view of the micro move. And then the micro view of the micro move would be right here. So a micro move of the micro view, so it's like Inception, right? Would be 3,000, and this would be least amount of the move that could happen if it does break out, would be right here. Would be 3,860. The likelihood would be if it breaks out here, we're probably going to 4,000. 3,994. I know you've heard that narrative a lot out of me, at the minimum. But if it gets up there, it gets dicey, because our target, if we break this pattern, is 6,000 or 7,000 is the ultimate target out of here. So that's how close we are right now. My son's flipping the light switch. I'm sure you guys can see it. Ooh, spooky. But now let's go back to the heat liquidation map. So you see how that pans out. And let me just say hi to everybody. But there's a lot of liquidation that supports this thesis that we're talking about right now. Nice inverse head and shoulders. We're not making that up. I can be bearish when it's bearish, but now we're starting to get some validation on this consolidation. And it's a much larger inverse head and shoulders, is it not? This could be the pull down of an inverse right shoulder on an extended time frame. And in the micro, you see how we have that inverse head and shoulders that back tested the neckline successfully and now is about to break out. So if this breaks out, it's going to be very, very nice. Very, very nice. Frankie Fresh, welcome in to you and Janine, and thank you both for being a very, very loyal partner in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Hey, my good man, Defined and Papa Wheeler. Hey, dudes, I'm so glad to see you in here and acknowledging some of the other ones in here as well. All the World Stage, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. Epic, I don't know where it's at now. It had hit 30% earlier, then it came back down to about 17%. But it's still doing very well. Very well. It held that micro consolidation. We had it up there before, but this was the ultimate if it had to come down. But it did hold that back test very well. I wish I would have left that part of the chart up, but it's fine. But right now, that could have been an early outlier between that and ZBCN that this market's going to get that quick shot here. So that also gives a nice confidence. Gold and silver just continues to chug along here. I think mining stocks are getting close to a big move, like a big move. I think Kinross is out ahead of some of the market in mining stocks. And they got great earnings. So I expect that share to be over $30. I'm not investing in it. Old Vincenzo is. If you want to hear more about that, go to Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing on YouTube. I'll put a link in the video description below after this live is over. But that's my brother. I think he's just over 2,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube. But he's got a 9 to 5, and well, he does really well. I wouldn't complain about it, but. Joseph Euler, thanks for being in Tom's Room for 6 months plus with the XRP Predictor. Also sent a $20 donation, the first YouTube super chat of the night. I really appreciate that. Says, you are the best, Tom. Keep doing you, my friend. I will always do the way I do it. Thank you so much for the confidence boost and the validation that I am doing this whole thing right. Because I really believe we're doing this right. We're trying to create abundance for all, not abundance for I. So that's what I want your mindset and your vocabulary to be. Abundance for all, not abundance for I. So, let's see. Mick, Shoot, and Amanda, welcome into both of you. And thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. I'm glad that Nick agrees with me. I know I made that statement about 21 minutes ago about why it's dangerous to talk to micro in a macro point of view, and the macro, he understands. I'll spin it in circles for everybody else. All that matters is he understands. Let's see. Who did I miss? Mike Oxmelis, or Oxmelis, welcome in. And thank you for being the number 3 top fan. And he lost the sock. He lost his sock. Hopefully he'll gain that sock back. But Mike, I appreciate seeing you as always, my friend. Always, always, always. Big Dog, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Predictor. Frankie Fresh says, Tom, I hope T had a good day today with his therapies. God bless him and all 3 of you. Hey, man, T had a great day, actually. The only thing he was mad about earlier is that we had to leave to go to school because he had his last speech therapy at his new school for the summer. How many sessions did he do? 7? Because he did 2, 4, 6, 6 or 7 he did during the summer. So he stayed committed. And he wasn't mad when we got to the school. This kid, he loved school. He's only mad because it's summer vacation. And then when he was in school, a girl from the, well, I call it the normal preschool because he was in the special needs one. But he was in inclusion a lot to where he was in the other classroom with the kids that weren't special needs. And that's a big part of why he's going into the regular class with the IEP and some help, obviously. But the girl walked up to him, put her hand on his arm. When he was in his therapy, the therapist said and said, "Hi, Tommy." And that's like his friend in there. They all look out for him. Like, that's the one confidence boost I get is the kids actually look out for him. They like Tommy. Because he's literally the happiest person you'll ever meet. He's got the kindest spirit. So it's kind of hard to be mean to him because he's so, I don't know. If somebody ever messes with him, I won't go to the kid. I'm going to go to their parents. You know, I'm that kind of a person. So they better not bother my Tommy and ruin his spirit. But that was a good confidence boost, I think, for him. You know, to have friends like that. Plus, he's a handsome little man, so the ladies are going to be hitting on him, or at least by association, they're going to want to be around him. He's a kindred spirit, and when you're kindred, you know. Oh yeah, Nick, I understand you're going to have slightly different levels than I do. There's so many different levels you can play off of depending on if you're in the more micro. I've got different levels, but for the micro sense and the macro point of view, I think these all tie it in so people can be like, okay, this is really the make it or break it area. So even if you're not on like the, let's just say the expert level and it's your first day reading a chart, it's very easy to tell somebody 3,554, you know, that is it. That's it. And that's all you need to know on Ethereum, even though there's so much more, blah, blah, blah. You know, I could say it until the sun comes out. Breakout retest, especially holding that monthly breakout. Nick, what's the monthly breakout retest? What level is that? Exactly, so I can put it on the chart. I want to know the monthly level you're talking about. I need to put it on there, the back test. Because that is so, so important, but I want the level. Sorry, I'm reading through the comments, and I know you can give me the precise level. Luther, guys, welcome in. He says, what platform do you buy out on? BITUNIX, I buy it on 1x on the futures. It's so hard to find, but 1x on the futures, I'm not looking to send it off. If you know anything about fire blocks, you'll know why you should trust BITUNIX. Look into fire blocks. It's actually like a custodian who looks over your money, your actual crypto and currency, and you know your stable coins. And if something happens, the find in here is a very trusted mod. He actually got his stuff back. It's a very cool story, long story. But I'm sure he'd share it with you in the Telegram if you guys are in there. But fire blocks, the way to go. I'm also doing some stuff on an AI exchange. And I would love to know some people's opinions. So I'm going to share it here eventually. I'm just testing out the withdrawal. I actually bought ZIL and VChain on that exchange. And the fees were nothing. There was no, it was basically like $4 or whatever for almost about $6,000 worth of positions. But ZIL is only on the futures market on BITUNIX, so I tried to find a spot where ZIL was at. And I want to incorporate the AI exchange. The only thing is they don't have fire blocks, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of stuff there. But I still think it's worth testing out, and I would love to have everybody's opinion on it. And maybe they will switch over to fire blocks in the future. But for that reason alone, I'm only going to keep those two things and just let it play out a little bit until if I have to sell out, obviously. But I'll share that exchange probably tomorrow. I'm not going to share it today. But it's not that important. But I would love everybody's opinion. It took me a long time to share BITUNIX, but I wish I would have shared it sooner because of how much it saves people and the fact that as a custodian within that extra layer of security with the fire blocks, I'm telling you, like, pay very close attention. That's the lingo nobody uses. I never hear it on YouTube. Hey, use this exchange because it has fire blocks. But I'm not going to charge you. This is the kind of stuff I could say, hey, join my army and get members-only videos, and this is what I could put in it. The reason you use BITUNIX is for fire blocks, and I never talk about it outside of that. But how cheesy would that be? So I try to include all of you in with this. Nick, welcome in. Alec, Tony, thanks for being in Town Zone for 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor. It's all an illusion. Welcome in, and thanks for being in Town Zone for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Bollinger Bands on the 4-hour are tighter than in May. Ooh, baby. I can feel it in my loins, man. Something's building here, it feels like. One way or the other. I prefer up. Tom, do you think MXC is bottom? Thinking of starting to build another. I know. And the thing is, I know I hate crypto.com. I do. But I legitimately cap it. I know you guys know $4,200 in there for MXC because I know it's going to cost me a fee. And I kept a little bit over 4,000 to cover the stupid fee that it's going to end up costing me by buying and selling. But I do have money in there because I can't not like MXC. And I can't help that I have to buy it on there. And like I said before on the last one when we made like 30%, but I had to sell it and I only ended up making like 22 because of the buy and sell fucking fees. Well, I mean, I might be exaggerating, but I don't think I am. I said I'm not going to let it stop me from buying it anymore, but I'm still going to piss and moan about it every step of the way. Every step of the way. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to talk about it. It's in my bottoming area for, oh baby, it definitely is. That's definitely the area on this inverse head and shoulders. You could not have said it at a better time. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does reverse, these are bottoming formations. Got this bottom. Oh my God, I might as well just show you. That's an inverse head and shoulders. It can't come down much farther than here if it's going to hold. Yeah, this is what I was waiting for. Holy hell. Talk about my kindred spirit here. Oh, this will be an easy decision for me because this is one that I'm supposed to be in and it's designated on the other exchange. Oh, I hate it though. I hate it. I wish BITUNIX had it, but I hate it. This is one of my favorite IoT tokens that doesn't get talked about. Moonchain. Fucking love it. But look where it's at. It's even on the support right now. This is about as, I mean, you're on the nuts right now. It can't really go much farther down, few percent. If it's going to break this, it breaks it, but it's within 5% of the bottom. Oh, maybe it's a little bit far. No, I don't think it is farther. I think it might be a little bit higher. Yeah, because I would definitely look at it like that. In my opinion, because a couple wicks came down. Dude, you 3.4% from, dude, if this market breaks out for MXC, this is within 3.4% of the bottom, and it's way back down. I got to give you some credit. I got to see who said that, but first I got to do something. And I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but you might know what I'm doing. I swear to God, if I haven't logged into crypto.com today since I got this, I did not. Is he in the laundry room? Our best friend, Tommy. Verify email. Sorry. I did lock it, yeah. Oh, Julie, do you have your phone? I need the code. While we're waiting for Julie. 1970 Legend, thank you so much for the $49.99 donation. I knew he had to butter me up. He had to say something. The defending national champion couldn't even allow Michigan to have more than 1 year with our championship. Just had to rub it in. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad that the Big Ten won it again. And honestly, we didn't deserve it. And I've said it many times. I think it was a beautiful job by Ryan Day. And I think that they lost on purpose to Michigan. I'm telling you, I'm just going to say what I think. And I've said this before, so it's not going to come as a surprise. I think they lost on purpose because they knew they were going to beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship. But they knew if they beat them with the scheme that they had, it was basically a crapshoot whether or not they'd win that third game after just blowing them out in the. I thought they would blow them out in the Big Ten championship if they played. I thought they were going to beat Michigan, and that's what was going to happen. But I think that's what happened. So yes, I'm happy we beat them for a fourth straight year, but I don't think we actually beat them. I know it sounds stupid, but Ryan Day said I can win a national title or I can lose to Michigan here. I mean, I can beat Michigan, but probably beat Oregon and lose to them in the playoff, or I can lose to Michigan not after playing the Big Ten championship. No, I'm in the the field of 16 to get into the contention, and they knew they would beat Oregon the next time because Ohio State doesn't lose to a team twice in 1 year. It doesn't happen. I would dare tell me the last time it's happened where they lost to one team in the same year twice. In my memory, I honestly can't think of a time in my memory when they've lost to a team twice in the same year. Although it's probably there, obviously, but I just don't remember. 1970 legend would know. That's fine, Julie.
I charged this phone to 36.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, it was dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he might be going to sleep. So, like I said, I'm eating the fee on crypto.com. And then we know our breakdowns. But what did it end up actually charging me? Because it's not on the buy where it's the worst. It's when you... That's a combination of both. Because that wasn't so bad, honestly. That time it wasn't. That means it's probably going to bend me over and strip me naked on the sell. But hey, we can't worry about that yet. So yeah, I bought MXC. Well, I had bought it. I was just making sure that everything panned out and it was actually there. And then I got into my story after I bought it. But I obviously bought it, so... And it was a hefty amount. I told you I had like 40... Well, it cost less than 4,100, but I bought 3.222 million. So you'll see that buy order in there if you look. Yes, we just need some volume, but right now, I mean, we're doing exactly what we need to do. I'm actually very excited that... Who brought that up? Who brought up MXC? You are my hero tonight. And I have data, which is IoT. I have ACH, which is technically in there. Axelar, which is the Ripple, the ties with Ripple. Zill has the Zaliqua network. Quant is down there. ZBCN is nice. Band I really like. Dent with Mira. Yes, Mira, I have over 5 million. Dent, like I promised you in the run when I thought it was potential. But I really think that we're getting some outliers here. But hey, I don't know. We'll see if this doesn't pan out. Who said this, though? Nick, 3,680. Ooh, so we're dealing with the monthly right now. This is fantastic. So this would be a great area then, Nick. 3,680. Hold on, let me get... This is great. Thank you, Nick. So this is the monthly... Let me see what he said. 3,680. Where's this at? All right, 3,680. So if we get over 3,680, that is the trend line from 2021. So we want to be on the top side of that. So that can be, all right, so look at it this way. You want to be over 3,680, then if we go back to 21, before we lose this pattern that we've retaken at 3,554 is a great way to look at it. I'm going to keep this up because it shows you the short-term style setup if you want to look at it in that regard. But it's not necessarily necessary. It could cause confusion as well. But from a daily sense, from a weekly sense, from a monthly sense, I mean, unless this is a huge fake out, I mean, this is exactly what we need to happen here to have a massive move. And I'm all for it. I know Nick is all for it. I know the community is all for it. But 1970 Legend, in all seriousness, thank you so much for that $49.99 donation. It's unbelievably generous. Like, and being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor is crazy. Mike Osmo says, cheers to abundance with my yogurt jar. I'll be having my my oat milk yogurt soon. Even though it's a little later, but I that's still something I'm allowed to eat today that I need to eat because it has the added protein and stuff I need. Let's see. Where was that comment about MXC? There's the platform about IOTA, so I know it was after that comment. Ah, right here. It's all an illusion. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So now you know my thoughts, and I am in it with 3.222 million tokens on MXC. And I don't mind taking the hit on crypto.com. It is what it is. That money just goes back and forth in MXC, and I just happen to build it up a little bit. And if I can build up again and again and again, eventually it's going to have a massive thousands and 1,000% move when it's ready to go. You all know what we were playing for in the past, where we've already hit 4 and 5x on it. And then 1 or 2x on other ones, 40% on other ones. This one, if this hits, if this is the start of alt season, guys, instead of waiting to the first quarter of 2026, and it actually happens right now a little earlier than the 70% or down that road, this is going to mirror 2017 when it happens. And I don't know how many of you know the bull market of 2017. It's not what happened in 21. 21 was a farce in comparison, especially for XRP. But where all these tokens are now, they've done the proper consolidation. And now you see this IOTA chart is finally cleared out. See how it took about an hour or so, and then it finally caught up. So you have to have the 2 IOTA charts. But I went deep into IOTA. I don't know, not like, oh my God, over the top. But I have, oh, maybe not as deep as I thought. 31,000 tokens. Okay. And Axelar, I love, especially if this happens. There's over 20,000 H bar. I have the XLM. I did this nice. The way I separated this, I did this nice. It's nice. And then I'm looking for the confirmation here. Like I said, I think an outlier of something that could dump here, because, you know, capital has to flow from somewhere into other things. I think right now, don't hate me, Defined, I think capital could flow out of XDC, and then it'll catch up after. If the market moves, then tomorrow or the next day when we correct, XDC would be the play. Right now, though, I think there's too much risk on the side of XDC just based on how it looks. You can kill me, you can hate me, but there's too much risk right now. Just the way it is. I think there's better opportunity elsewhere until that sorts itself out. There could be overzealous money in there still from the listing that needs to clear out as well. Like what happened with H-bar. Remember how it dumped for H-bar after the listing? And then, like, XLM hasn't had that dump. H-bar, on comparison, dumped down 26% after that pump after the listing. XLM, I dare say it's not even close to that yet, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's close. Yeah, see, it only came down about 12, so it's got to double that drop probably. I think it'd be more appropriate if it, see that? 26% if this failed from where it was at up there. Oh, why is it way up there? That's not where the price is at. Oh, yeah, it is. What the hell am I talking about? That's the drop from the top. Look at that. The technical target, if it played out there, but it's going to be a little bit lower. But you see the point. It would be in that range. So it makes sense because you would get the clear out from the, you know, from what happened there. But so far, it seems to be doing exactly what we were speaking of. Like, this is what I would expect to happen here. Have I been mincing words? Like, does this make it easier for everybody? Even when I talked the last few days waiting for validation and we watched it drop, we didn't have to worry about the up and down. I like to catch the part where it's literally the make it or break it after supposed validation. Because I never panic on the initial push up because you always need the back test. So I wait for that back test, but not exactly when it hits the back test. When we get the validation that I think we've gotten now, and if the validation is broken now, we know it's a massive drop. So it's either we got our validation in the way we were supposed to, or the market's just going to implode. So, but now would be the candle where we could make some magic, in my opinion. Do I think ZVCN could hit 10? I don't know when, but it's certainly possible. I don't know when, but it is possible. We've done very well with ZBCN in this community, ZBCN. We actually had a back-to-back play from MXC to ZBCN, or vice versa, where they each did several X's, and we just, when it was a bear cycle, oh my God, we did unbelievably well. But guys, I'm not going to mince words. I really want to know if what we do here helps, especially with the way I come on here. I've never been so blunt as I've been in the last couple of weeks when I come on here. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm doing, especially with my positions. Now I'm just letting it hang out. And I tell you, this is for entertainment purposes only. What do I know? I'm just some guy wearing his cloths and shit. I mean, look at my hair. I've been cut it in over 2 years. If I showed you, does anybody want to see how long my hair is on this live? Honestly, who wants to see how long my hair is? I'll show you how long my hair is. I think it'll blow you freaking mind. I do too. It's all an illusion. I'm not gonna sell MXC right now, no matter what. Like I said before, I wanted that 4,000, and I can't believe it bought 3.222 million now. A couple 100,000 more than before. 1970 Legend, thanks for the $9.99 donation. Says the Buckeyes last lost to one team twice in the 1898 season in my hometown college, Marietta College. Excellent, and thank you for that backstory too on you and some information. Humble grad of Marriott College. Excellent. I knew I didn't remember them ever losing twice in one season to a team. That's just not something that happens for the Buckeyes. People are always surprised that I actually like the Buckeyes. But listen, I don't know why Ohio State hates us so much. I mean, I don't know why. Well, most Michigan fans hate Ohio State. But the way I look at it is the only reason Michigan won the national title in 23 is because we were tired of getting our ass beat by Ohio State. We finally turned it around, and after a while, people start going to your school, and then we paid some players, and it all lined up. And that kept us competitive. Even though we lost 15 years in a row, it gave us that driving hunger. And then what ended up happening? Down in Columbus, they got lackluster. They got too over cocky because it's the natural progression. You win 15 times in a row, it's become expected. And then once it doesn't happen, it's like, it's that gut check. And then when they lost in Columbus the second year, it was that, the tide's turning. And then when we won in the big house, it was like, okay, well, this is the team of destiny anyhow. And I thought we were going to win the title, and we did. And then what happened last year, we should have lost. We didn't even have a quarterback who could throw forward. Like, literally, we had a guy who had no arms and legs, no offense to this guy. But we couldn't throw the ball forward. I think we had 40 yards passing, a couple interceptions. But we were meant to, I guess we were meant to win the game. It makes a good storyline on my wall of great stuff for how we made the title run and then anyhow. But it's the same thing in every part of life, though. Like, you look at it that way. You want motivation. You know what gives me motivation? All the people that can't eat. Myself included, when I first met Julie, we literally sometimes didn't have enough food for me and her, and the kids would eat the food that we had to buy from the dollar store. And, like, that's what motivates me. I know we can create abundance for all. And I sometimes get frustrated, but I do it for the best of my heart. Like, I do it from my heart. So, you know, I hope this pans out for everybody. If it doesn't, we know the bailout plan. For XDC, we know as long as it holds this area defined, you're fine. And then it would be a good buy from the bottom of support, but it's right at about 927 if it holds. But it could be a rising wedge. And money has to flow from somewhere into something else. So maybe that's going to be the odd one out because it always usually runs second. But right now, this is doing beautiful. Beautiful work right now. I like what we're seeing so far. I'm actually up 5.7% here all of a sudden as well. It's all an illusion. I appreciate you, my friend. And I know it had a nice kick up earlier in this 4-hour candle when we were looking. But anyhow, I'm going to have to go, guys. My son's shaking his head. It's been over an hour. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you all so much. I have data. I have like 150,000 data. So I like data. Especially if we're going to move here. I love data. This is another one just like MXC that I think, like MXC with the IoT, it's underknown. It's streamers token. It's undervalued, just like MXC, which is Moonchain. And I think it's going to do big things when it's ready. So I have invested about, I think it's 150,000 tokens. So yeah, I have a nice position. And when it's time, it's time. But I do have to go, everybody. Julie needs me. And